Have you ever noticed that as you get older, you start visiting people less often? Maybe you used to be the kind of person who made the rounds, stopping by to see friends, attending every event, making sure to stay socially active. But over time, something shifts. You start thinking twice before heading out, and those casual visits don't feel as necessary as they once did. And here's the truth: that's completely okay. In this video, we're going to talk about 6 real reasons why I don't go visiting around anymore. These aren't about becoming antisocial or shutting people out. Instead, they're about understanding how priorities change, how relationships evolve, and why choosing when and where to spend your time matters more than ever. If you've ever felt the same way but couldn't quite explain why, stick around. This will help you put it into words. Stay tuned until the end, because these reasons might just change the way you see yourself and your relationships, helping you feel more confident in the choices you make. Let's get started. Number 1, prioritizing energy for meaningful interactions. As you get older, you start to realize that your energy is not unlimited. The things that once felt effortless, driving across town, spending hours in conversation, attending every gathering, now take more out of you than they used to. It's not that you don't want to see people, but rather that you have to be selective about how you use your time and energy. You start to think, who are the people that truly matter? When you're younger, socializing often revolves around staying connected, keeping up with acquaintances, and maintaining a wide circle of friends. But as the years go by, something shifts. You begin to value quality over quantity. It's no longer about seeing everyone. You'd rather spend time with the people who uplift you, make you feel comfortable, and bring real joy into your life. Casual visits that used to feel necessary now seem like a drain on your limited energy, especially when you could be using that time to nurture relationships that truly matter. Think about it. How many times have you forced yourself to go somewhere out of obligation, only to come home feeling exhausted? You sit through conversations that don't really interest you, spend time with people who don't make an effort to know you, and leave feeling like you would have been happier staying home. There comes a point where you realize that your time is valuable, and not everyone deserves a piece of it. Take Frank, for example. He used to feel guilty about turning down invitations. He thought that if he didn't go visit people regularly, they would think he didn't care. But over time, he noticed something. The people who truly valued him didn't need frequent visits to maintain a strong connection. Instead of spending his energy on surface-level interactions, he started focusing on deeper, more meaningful relationships. And suddenly, socializing felt less like an obligation and more like true joy. It's not about isolating yourself. It's about choosing wisely. You don't need to be everywhere, and you don't need to see everyone to prove that you care. Real connections don't require constant presence. They require genuine appreciation, understanding, and mutual respect for each other's time. Number 2, avoiding unnecessary stress and drama. One of the biggest lessons you learn as you get older is that not every social interaction is worth your peace of mind. There was a time when you might have tolerated gossip, unnecessary conflicts, or people who seem to bring more negativity than joy. But as the years go by, you start to recognize that protecting your peace is more important than maintaining every relationship. It's not that you don't care about people, it's that you don't have the patience for drama anymore. You don't feel the need to argue over small things, rehash old conflicts, or entertain conversations that leave you feeling frustrated. If visiting someone means dealing with unnecessary stress, whether it's family tension, passive-aggressive remarks, or the same old arguments that never go anywhere, you start to ask yourself, why am I putting myself through this? Think about it. Have you ever left a gathering feeling emotionally drained? Maybe you sat through a dinner where people complained the whole time, or you visited someone out of obligation only to listen to negativity, gossip, or criticism. There comes a point where you realize that time spent in stressful environments is time you'll never get back, and at this stage in life, every moment matters. For example, take Helen, who used to visit certain family members regularly, even though every visit left her feeling emotionally exhausted. There was always tension in the air, always an argument waiting to happen, always something that made her feel like she wasn't being appreciated. One day, she decided she wasn't going to keep putting herself in those situations. Instead, she focused on the people who made her feel loved, welcomed, and respected. And for the first time in years, socializing became something she actually looked forward to, instead of something she dreaded. The truth is, you have every right to protect your time and energy. You don't owe anyone your presence, especially if that presence comes at the cost of your own happiness. Choosing to avoid unnecessary stress isn't being rude, it's being wise. Because the people who truly care about you won't make you feel obligated to endure negativity just to maintain a relationship. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 3. Finding comfort in familiar spaces. There's something about home that just feels right. Over the years, you build a space that's yours, a place where you can relax, think, and truly be yourself. And as you get older, that comfort becomes more valuable than ever. The idea of getting dressed, driving across town, making small talk, and sitting in someone else's space just doesn't feel as appealing as it once did. It's not about avoiding people. It's about appreciating the peace of your own surroundings. When you're younger, there's an urge to always be on the go, always seeking out social events and new experiences. But over time, you realize that being out isn't always better than being home. There's a special kind of joy in waking up in your own bed, drinking coffee from your favorite mug, and knowing that your day will go exactly how you want it to. There's no pressure to entertain, no need to adjust to someone else's schedule, just the comfort of being in a space that feels truly yours. For some, visiting people means dealing with environments that don't feel welcoming. Maybe their house is too loud, too chaotic, or just not comfortable for long visits. Maybe the chairs aren't as supportive. The atmosphere feels unfamiliar, or you don't feel as at ease as you do in your own home. The reality is, as you age, your comfort matters more than social expectations. And if you find more joy in staying home than in traveling to visit others, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Take Bill, for example. He used to feel guilty about turning down invitations, but every time he visited someone, he found himself counting the minutes until he could leave. The noise, the distractions, the unfamiliar environment, it was exhausting. One day, he decided to stop forcing himself to go places just because he felt he had to. Instead, he started inviting people to visit him on his own terms. And suddenly, socializing became something he actually looked forward to, instead of something he dreaded. There's a reason why home feels like home, because it's a space designed for you. It's where you feel safe, where your favorite things are, where you can move at your own pace without worrying about being a guest in someone else's space. Choosing to spend more time at home isn't about isolation. It's about embracing the comfort you've worked so hard to create. Number 4, preferring quality over quantity in social life. When you're younger, socializing often feels like a numbers game. The more friends you have, the more invitations you get. The busier your calendar looks, the more connected you feel. But as you age, you begin to realize that real fulfillment doesn't come from the number of people in your life, but from the depth of the relationships you maintain. Instead of making the effort to visit just for the sake of socializing, many older adults choose to invest in fewer but more meaningful connections. At this stage in life, there's no need for shallow friendships. You're no longer trying to impress, prove anything, or maintain relationships that don't bring genuine joy. The people who are truly important don't require constant visits or frequent check-ins to stay close. There's a mutual understanding that friendship isn't about physical presence. It's about being there in the ways that actually matter. Think about how many casual acquaintances you've had over the years, people you spent time with out of routine, convenience, or even obligation. Now ask yourself, How many of those people truly added something valuable to your life? If the answer is not many, then it makes sense why, as you grow older, you stop feeling the need to maintain so many connections. The friendships that last aren't the ones based on convenience or habit, but on genuine understanding, trust, and appreciation. Take Nancy, for example. She used to feel like she had to keep up with everyone, calling, visiting, making plans, just to make sure she wasn't forgotten. But over time, she realized that the people who genuinely cared about her didn't need that constant reinforcement. She started focusing on the relationships that felt effortless, the ones where she could go weeks or months without seeing someone, yet still pick up right where they left off. And suddenly, her social life became less about obligation and more about real connection. Choosing quality over quantity doesn't mean cutting people off or isolating yourself. It means prioritizing the relationships that uplift you and letting go of the ones that don't. It's about recognizing that true friendship isn't measured by how often you see someone, but by how you feel when you're together. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Number 5, a shift in priorities and personal reflection. As you get older, you start to see life differently. The things that once seemed important, staying socially active, being seen, making sure you're always part of the group, start to fade in significance. Instead, you begin to focus on what truly matters. You recognize that your time is limited, and you start making choices that reflect what brings you the most peace, fulfillment, and happiness. For many seniors, this shift in priorities means that visiting others just for the sake of it no longer feels necessary. Instead of spending time on activities that no longer bring joy, there's a deeper appreciation for self-care, personal growth, and simply enjoying the present moment. Some people find fulfillment in reading, others in hobbies they never had time for before, and others in simply sitting in the quiet of their home, reflecting on the life they've lived. Think about it. How many moments have you spent doing things out of habit rather than genuine interest? When you were younger, you might have felt pressure to say yes to every invitation, keep up with social expectations, and always be on the go. But now you have the freedom to choose differently. You can prioritize the things that bring you joy, whether that means spending time alone, being with loved ones, or simply embracing the peace that comes with aging. Take Robert, for example. He spent most of his life being a social butterfly, always attending events, always making sure he was present. But as he got older, he realized that he found more peace in solitude than in constant social interaction. He started to spend more time outdoors, enjoying simple walks, reading books he had put off for years, and reflecting on the things that truly made him happy. Instead of forcing himself to visit people just to maintain appearances, he embraced the idea that being alone didn't mean being lonely. It meant being in control of his time. This shift in priorities isn't about pushing people away. It's about honoring yourself. It's about recognizing that the best way to live these years isn't by following old habits, but by embracing what feels right, what feels meaningful, and what brings you peace. Number 6, recognizing that true friendships don't require frequent visits. One of the biggest realizations that comes with age is that the best friendships don't rely on constant visits or regular check-ins. When you're younger, it might seem like relationships need constant maintenance to stay strong. You call often, you visit frequently, you go out of your way to keep up. But as you get older, you realize that real connections don't fade just because you see someone less often. The truth is, life naturally pulls people in different directions. Families grow, priorities shift, and people settle into different routines. But strong relationships, the ones that truly matter, are built on something deeper than physical presence. They're built on mutual respect, understanding, and an unspoken bond that doesn't need constant reinforcement. Some of the closest friendships are the ones where you can go weeks, months, or even years without seeing each other. And yet when you do reconnect, it feels like no time has passed at all. Think about your own friendships. There are probably people in your life who you don't see as often as you used to. Yet when you do, it's as if nothing has changed. You don't need to prove your loyalty or constantly be in each other's presence. The connection is already there. And on the other hand, there may have been relationships in the past where you spent a lot of time visiting, yet deep down, those friendships didn't truly fulfill you. Take Eleanor, for example. She used to feel guilty about not visiting people as much as she used to. She worried that if she didn't put in the effort, those relationships would fade. But what she found was the opposite. The people who genuinely cared about her never once made her feel guilty for not visiting more often. They understood that life changes and that a strong friendship isn't about how often you see each other, but about how you show up for each other when it truly matters. This is why so many older adults choose to stop feeling pressure to visit others out of obligation. True friendships don't demand constant presence. They offer comfort, understanding, and the kind of bond that doesn't weaken with time. If someone makes you feel guilty for not visiting enough, maybe it's time to ask yourself if that's really the kind of friendship you want to maintain. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Final thoughts. As we wrap up this video, take a moment to reflect on the 6 reasons why visiting people less often isn't something to feel guilty about. Life changes, priorities shift, and the way we socialize naturally evolves. Whether it's preserving your energy for meaningful interactions, avoiding unnecessary stress, embracing the comfort of home, focusing on quality over quantity in relationships, redefining your personal priorities, or recognizing that true friendships don't require constant visits. These are all valid and important reasons to choose how you spend your time wisely. One of the greatest freedoms that comes with aging is the ability to live life on your own terms. You no longer feel pressured to keep up appearances, force interactions, or visit people just because it's expected. Instead, you make choices based on what truly brings you joy, peace, and fulfillment. That's not being anti-social. It's being intentional with your time. And when you do spend time with people, it's because you genuinely want to, not because you feel obligated to. The most important thing to remember is that your value isn't measured by how often you visit people, but by the relationships you nurture in your own way. The people who truly matter will understand that friendship and love go beyond physical presence. And as you focus on the connections that uplift you, you'll find that you're left with the relationships that truly make life meaningful. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.